Flowers, photos, handwritten messages, all honoring those swept away in the floods.
And right now, a powerful show of solidarity. Phones are ringing and donations they are pouring in for our live telethon to help those devastated by the Hill Country flooding. The number to call right there on your screen. Phone lines are open for the next hour. And as we close in on a week since the catastrophic flooding in the Texas Hill Country, we now know the death toll across Texas has increased to at least 121.
And with more than 170 people still missing, that number is likely to rise. Governor Abbott has officially called a special session for lawmakers set to begin on July 21st. Flood recovery and preparedness, including improving flood warning systems and emergency communications, all priorities. We also know President Trump and the First Lady will visit Kerr County tomorrow to tour the hardest hit areas.
Our team coverage continues this evening from the Hill Country and here in Houston. We start with investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski as Kerr County officials face increased scrutiny about delays in sending flood alerts to those in harm's way. Jeremy, you spoke with one expert who called it a point of failure.
A failure that needs to be addressed, that expert says, but Kerr County officials have yet to explain why they didn't push out an emergency notification alert early on.
Nearly 1 week after the deadly 4th of July floods, local officials have yet to release a timeline of who did what and when.
All those questions will be answered.
That was Tuesday. This was Wednesday.
That's going to be checked into at a later time. I wish I could tell you that time.
And today,
thank you very much.
Officials didn't address a timeline at all.
The Guadalupe is starting to come up and Shoemaker is no longer passable at this time.
Their unresponsiveness comes amid new audio recordings from that dreadful Friday morning. Scanner enthusiast John David Trollinger captured a first responder's plea at 4:22 a.m.
Is there any way we can send a code red out to our Hunt residents asking them to find higher ground or stay home?
Standby, we have to get that approved with our supervisor.
Code Red is the emergency notification system in Kerr County, and as this public service video shows, it's been in place for years.
You will receive emergency warning calls on your landline or cell phone.
Trollinger says he only got a Code Red alert hours later, around 10.
Someone should have gotten up and been there to go, okay, send the code red.
That is a point of failure.
Jeanette Sutton is a risk communications scholar and founder of the Warn Room, a training tool for agencies to improve warnings and alerts.
Policies need to be created around what kinds of messages go out under what conditions. For whatever reason, they weren't available to get in touch with that supervisor in the middle of the night. That does need to be addressed. That's where people's lives are on the line.
Professor Sutton says coordination and communication are critical, but unfortunately she does not see robust policies in place at agencies very often. Meanwhile, I emailed Kerrville's Joint Information Center several times today, Ron. The response still did not address flood alert delays, but they did say they are committed to a transparent and full review that will start at the upcoming legislative special session, Ron.
We'll be watching what the lawmakers decide to do in Austin. Jeremy, thank you so much.
Tonight, the community in the Texas Hill Country is coming together in a powerful show of support. A new memorial wall honoring the victims of these devastating floods is growing by the minute. Orko Manna is live from that memorial along Water Street in Kerrville. Orko, it is just a heartbreaking sight to see.
Well, Mia, just looking at this puts into perspective just how devastating the flooding was. These are the faces of the lives lost and those still missing. All day today, people have come out here to drop off flowers and write sweet messages. Everyone is feeling the pain. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but for these pictures of the victims of the Texas Hill Country floods,
there's no words to describe something like this. Okay.
The Kerrville community paying their respects at this fence along Water Street. Photos of the lives lost and those still unaccounted for nestled among the flowers.
It's very sad, but it's good to remember people.
Angelica Sanchez stopping by to honor Kerrville Tivy soccer coach Reese Sunker and his wife, both confirmed dead.
My son had the coach at Tivy High School, and it's very sad to know that he's not here and his family is not here anymore.
The heartbreak felt by everyone.
Sad
sadness, just pure sadness. You know, that's the only emotion I can think that I can process at this moment.
Even August Wolverton, she didn't know anyone personally, but calls this a tight-knit town.
Everyone here, like I said, everyone knows someone one way or another. And so just to know that this many lives and this many people have been affected is just, it's a lot.
The beginning of the healing process, right?
This wall of hope was created by Leo Soto, an artist from Miami, Florida, who travels around the country following major tragedies.
It's really easy to get desensitized when you hear of a casualty count and you just think so and so many people died, but when you take a look at every picture, there's a family that's grieving.
As he did before in places like Uvalde, he supplies the photos and flowers, but says it's the community's personal touches that mean the most.
It's really special because it really is a blank canvas that they can make it their own.
And folks have been coming out here in droves, showing that they are truly Hill Country strong, as it says on this sign here. Everyone is encouraged to come here and add to this memorial. Reporting live from Kerrville tonight, Orko Manna, KHOU 11 News.
Hill Country strong they are. Orko Manna in Kerrville. Thank you.
Tonight we're hearing from the manager of an RV resort, a resort that was decimated by the flooding. He's sharing a story of survival and how he helped guests reach safety. George Davis says he's been the campground manager at the Guadalupe Keys RV Resort in Center Point for about 4 years, but none of that time along the river prepared him for the early morning hours of last Friday as that water began to rise. Davis says he and the owner of the property got everyone to safety just in time.
And then we hear the wall of water coming. It's moving. I mean, it's moving fast, and it sounds like kind of like a cross between a jet engine and a train, kind of rushing down the river. And you can see all the debris kind of caught up in it.
How frightening was that? Davis says the camper he called home was washed away by the raging water, but he remains thankful just to be alive and plans to return to Center Point next week to help others start that recovery process.